Hello, this is part 1 of how to reduce your asthma symptoms from 10 puffs per day of Ventolin to less than 1 puff per day just with breathing exercises. Before I start, I'd like to tell you a story which helps people get clear on exactly what they want. It starts off with you imagining you're walking along the road by the beach, and out near the water you see something that catches your eye. You look at it, walk over to it, and as you get to it, just out of the water so slightly, and you kind of dig it out of the sand a little bit, and sure enough it looks like Aladdin's lamp. You think to yourself, could it really be? You rub the lamp, and out pops the genie with a magic wand in his hand and says, if I could grant you one wish about your asthma symptoms other than a cure, what would your wish be? I want you to answer this question in your mind right now silently, and I'll give you a moment to do that. As you think about what you chose, listen openly just for now as I present the first parts of a simple breathing training that can reduce asthma symptoms by about 90% without drugs, supplements or gadgets. In 1994, a very large Australian hospital in Brisbane and the Asthma Foundation of Queensland conducted a medical trial on a breathing method that claimed to reduce asthma to almost nothing. A large group of severe asthmatics was divided into as equal as 2 groups as possible. One was taught standard asthma education, the other was taught something called the Buteyko method. The results of those 2 groups were pretty amazing. The Buteyko group reduced symptoms and relief medications from an average of 4 puffs of Ventolin or similar to 1 puff of Ventolin or similar per day. The group also reduced inhaled steroids by 49%, and their quality of life improved. These improvements were maintained over the long term. Well, so what, I hear you ask? This breathing method reduced symptoms in a carefully monitored and measured asthmatics. And this was repeated in major hospitals around the world, in New Zealand and in Britain. The experts, the medical experts, are 15 years later still caught up in arguing whether there is any change in something called underlying asthma. As someone who previously had severe asthma, but now don't have any symptoms, it makes no difference to me whether my underlying condition has changed. I learned a breathing method, the breathing method that this series of videos is going to give to you for free, and my asthma symptoms reduced. You already know that some things like swimming can change your level of asthma symptoms. This training does exactly the same thing, but a little bit more precisely and predictably. This is part 1 of the free instructions, and my intention is to make a series of very short videos that give you simple and precise instructions on how to learn this method that reduces asthma symptoms. Most will be available on YouTube and also at my website for free, where they will be neatly organised and there with other useful material. A good question for you to ask at this point is, who am I and what makes me able to give instructions or offer a course like this? My name is James Hooper. I live in Townsville in Queensland in Northern Australia. I'm the author of the Buteyko Manual for Asthma, how to grow out of asthma as quickly as humanly possible. The sister book to that is the Buteyko Breathing Workout Workbook. Those 2 books together formed the basis of my Learn It at Home Buteyko course that I wrote back in 1996 and have offered with guaranteed results for the last 14 years. The guarantee essentially was, if you try this method even a little bit and don't get a great improvement, you'll get a full refund with no questions asked. In 14 years of marketing and offering this, there's not been one person who's asked for a refund. Additionally, I've been running workshops and have taught over 3,000 people directly how to relieve the asthma symptoms. So let's just restate the intention of this series. The video lessons will be about 60 seconds each. It'll become as simplified as I can make them. The same methodology that I can teach 4-year-old children and their parents how to do it. I'll endeavour to make it as interesting and as fun as possible, and by the end hopefully you'll have learned how to reduce your asthma symptoms by 90%. and without fuss. This is the end of part 1. Please find part 2 on this YouTube channel or go to asthmabreathing.org. When you go to asthmabreathing.org, there will be other resources, and there's a free membership which will give you access to the forum should you have questions, which you probably will. I look forward to communicating with you again soon. Stop.